Hello everybody, I'm John Evans and you're watching another episode of Mid-Mod Money, the show that teaches you how to buy and sell vintage items for a profit. Thanks for watching. Happy Monday. We're happy to have you in my basement for the next 10 minutes or so, and you are going to see some incredible vintage treasure on today's show. Some visually stimulating vintage items like this cute married pig salt and pepper shaker set. Look at that. She's not wearing a top. That's a choice. It looks very happy that they are married, and this was $2 at Goodwill, and it's worth about 15 bucks. And that's what today's show is about, the magical world of salt and pepper shakers. They're not all magical. Some are just salt and pepper shakers, but we're going to find out what makes some worth a lot of money and some worth just a little bit of money. So before we get started, I do want to remind you to hit the like button. That's a thing. You can do that for me. I'd consider it a favor. Also, you're going to want to subscribe to the show right over here. Think about it. Subscribe to the show. That way you can win free stuff. First Monday of the month, we give away, rain or shine, a free item. So let's get started. Take a look at the different salt and pepper shakers I don't know if you could say stockpiling, but I've been putting them back for a while. Let's start off plain, industrial. These are made in Hong Kong, and they are stainless steel, and they've got a cool, I wouldn't say Art Deco look, but they're definitely, 60s or very early 70s. 50 cents each. This was $1. Someone who's doing a stainless kitchen would pay, 12, 13 bucks for a vintage stainless salt and pepper shaker set. This fits the bill. Boom. Next thing I found at Christian Crossing was this set of salt and pepper shakers. They look like pancake syrup things. I found out that these were made by Gemco. I don't know if anybody... There was a company, Gemco, and I know that there was a store called Gemco. Is it the same thing? Because Gemco made those kitchen stools that were very popular that had the pull-out thing you could stand on, and it was like a seat too, Gemco. Also, there was a Gemco in California. It was like an early Target. These were 50 cents each, $1. That's the high markup on these, $1. And they're worth about 15 bucks. Thing about salt and pepper shakers is you're not just going to sell them to the person that collects salt and pepper shakers. Like if you have cat salt and pepper shakers, a cat person might see all of your salt and pepper shakers and go, oh, look at these cute cat salt and pepper shakers. Set $1. I got this, I think, at a flea market. I don't even remember. There's a Japan label on the bottom, so old 60s when the Siamese Cat thing was happening. These are worth $15 for the pair. Now, some are just plain old salt and pepper shakers. Like, look at this. These are older. They have a nice gold thing. Like if you were doing a gold kitchen, you would want the gold vintage salt and pepper shakers. 50 cents each from Christian Crossing. You could get $12. You're almost making $10 every time if you're getting them cheap. Like, here's an example of a higher end salt and pepper shaker set. This bartender. And these barrels. And one says salt, one says pepper. And I don't want to turn it over too much. But this was 50 cents. Not bad, because this is probably a $20 set of salt and pepper. $19.50 worth of profit from the salt and pepper shaker set. Next salt and pepper shaker. This was in a set with, gosh, it had a creamer, it had a sugar bowl, and it had these two salt and pepper shakers. This is made by a company called Pfaltzgraff. Pottery and stuff like that, ceramics, I suppose. This was the whole thing was $4. And one of I think it was the lid of the sugar bowl had a crack. But we still wanted it because we knew we could get about 15 for just the salt and pepper shakers because, like you said, if you're doing a blue kitchen, these are probably 80s, I would guess. And if you're doing like a blue kitchen, these are in perfect shape. $15, we paid 3 or 4 for the whole thing. Next thing I found in the category of so ugly it's cute, these guys. Now, I don't know what kind of bird this is. This was 99 cents, and I think they were 25% off as well, which is why I bought them. You can see at 99 cents, and they're clearly old, but I just don't know what kind of birds I'm dealing with there. They are, in fact, salt and pepper shakers. The bottoms, no cork, but I still think you can get $10 for these so easily. You're making $9 profit. In all of my booths, I have at least 20 pairs of salt and pepper shakers, 2 of my booths currently. Now, when we get into a higher end salt and pepper shaker, the reason they're worth more money is usually the company you keep, right? These are, anybody have these growing up? My grandma sure did. She had the ones with the gold circles around the top. This one has this kind of a flower pattern. They're understated because of the color. These brown, these are made by Pyrex for Corel. I don't know, Corel, these were $3 because of the name Pyrex and Corel. These are about $20 for this. I paid $3, that's $17 profit for just recognizing that. And then I did it again. $3. And this was weird. Same Goodwill a week later. Well, just trust me, they're in here. I like them also because they look like the Space Needle. You know, they're futuristic. These are about a $20 set of salt and pepper shakers. Next thing I'm going to show you, I found at a garage sale in Indiana. I've been holding on to these for a while. These. Uh-oh, I smell a project. These were 50 cents. And these are like late 50s, early 60s probably. And they got a label on there. I can't even read that. Here's the deal. If you'll notice, at one time they had eyes in the eyes, but the black has worn off. Perfect shape. These are $20 each. This would be $19.50, but it's a project. I'm going to have to paint these eyes. Oh, yeah, I broke my finger. I don't even want to get into it, but if you notice that, I absolutely broke my finger, and because of healthcare being what it is, I'm in kind of a holding pattern. Now, don't worry about me. I'm still going to find the stuff. I'll be here next Monday, but I have to paint eyes on these, and when I do, I'm going to ask about $18 for those. Now, just because I deal in vintage stuff doesn't mean I won't go modern, and that's what this is. I found a set. This is Joyce Shelton. Anybody know of her? I guess it's a, I'll take these off first. I'll show you the tray. Yeah, that's kind of colorful, harlequin-y. I don't even know how you describe this, but these are somewhat popular. This is a $25 set of salt and pepper shakers, and it's not vintage, but it's unusual. And that fits my aesthetic when I'm selling in an antique mall booth. I have 95% vintage and some not so vintage. Here's a vintage item, probably 80s. Anybody remember? These are salt and pepper shakers. Anybody remember breaking into their parents' liquor cabinet and mistakenly drinking this stuff? Because I sure do. Some dry white wine. That's why I bought these. When I saw these are salt and pepper shakers. These would be great on a kitchen table. Very, very reminiscent of like a restaurant might have something like this, but this is very cool. These were $3 and they're worth about $20. I thought they'd be worth more than that, but they're worth about $20. Like best case scenario, a salt and pepper shaker set will get up to $25, $30, which is what I'm about to show you. This next thing I found at the Goodwill. I bought these half price. These were $3. These kissing Dutch kids. They're sitting on a bench. Hardest thing to find is the bench. When you find these, the bench is never there. It's just the two kissing salt and pepper shake. Yeah, they're adorable. Cute sells. We do know that, and this is no exception. For $3, I'm going to get about $25 for those. We're on to our last item. This is it, you guys, and this is my favorite set of salt and pepper shakers that I found in a while. I found them at Christian Crossing here in Oakland, Maryland. The frog holding a mushroom salt and pepper shaker. Now, it's obscured by the tape, and they did a great job securing this on there because the first person that would have grabbed it would have dropped it on the ground. You've got the face, salt. You got the frog, pepper, and he cradles. It's like they're best friends. A frog and a mushroom, best friend. Now, that's a lot to digest. Made in Japan on the bottom. Pretty rare. I haven't seen a comp on this, but without even looking, I wouldn't take less than $25 or $30 for this because it's so unusual. Mushrooms are popular, but for $1, it's all profit. And that's the thing. I spent $22 on all of these salt and pepper shakers. When it's all said and done through my booths, maybe some eBay, I'm looking at $230 off of $20. And it's just because, I'm not a collector of salt and pepper shakers, but I certainly know what to look for, and I think they're interesting, and it's one of those things that there are collectors of them, and there are people who will want to buy them, so you might as well either, can't beat them, join them. So that's my synopsis. Thanks for watching my program, Mid-Mod Money. I appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, and remember, always round up.